Today, I interviewed these twin brothers who have been in the film industry for over 20 years.
Okay, so Twiin Media goes back 20 plus years ago.
Now, of course, AI has definitely played a role recently in filmmaking. So of course I had to ask, how is it involved in their media?
We'll just tell AI, hey, give me another view from the right angle. Here's a picture of the the interviewee, and AI will do it for us. We don't even need that second camera.
Now, of course, seeing their history just really makes me wonder, what got them into filmmaking?
Got us to go full into video is just a way to fund our hobby.
My name's Nota, and welcome to the AI Founder Series.
Dewayne and Lawayne, awesome to have you guys on today. Seriously, absolute pleasure talking to you guys.
Heck yeah, I'm glad that we crossed paths. This will be a lot of fun.
Seriously, I want to real quickly go over how I met you guys. I met you guys at the first it was Dewayne I met at the induction ceremony at Napa. Then I met both of you guys recently at the backpack event we had at the Johns Creek fire station, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was good.
Great meeting you guys about this. Now, first, I want to ask you this. You got to tell me first what Twiin Media is, and you got to tell me the story behind it and how that started.
Okay, so Twiin Media goes back 20 plus years ago. And when we actually, not 20 years, 2008, we rebranded. We rebranded to Twiin Media. Yeah. And we rebranded to be more video centric. So that's why we came out with Twiin Media. Now we since, because of the decline of, video is just, I don't know, it just wasn't the big money maker because anybody and everybody's doing it. So now we've rebranded ourselves as Twinetic AI Studio. And that's more, we're refocusing our company now on AI.
Really? So when did you guys get into the AI media space?
I would say a year and a half ago. We were doing it because we're developing and we'll talk a lot about this because really the main reason we do AI is for this episodic that we're working on called Hammer and Dash. And about a year and a half ago, we were writing 9 episodes and we were under a crunch to meet a deadline. And so I thought, well, why don't I, use AI and see what it can do to help flesh out some of these storylines. And it opened up our entire world. It might have been 2 years ago.
That would have been 2 years.
Yeah, and so it not only it probably cut our time by into 25% to develop and write these stories. And so from there, after we saw the power of AI and how amazing, and the fact that AI has a sense of humor, that's, our whole thing, Hammer and Dash, is pure comedy. It's like Family Guy humor. And once we figured out that AI has a sense of humor, we're like, man, let's see what else it can do. And then it just started diving into video, and maybe we could send you samples of our Hammer and Dash, and you could splice some of that into this interview, so that way your audience understands what we're developing. But yeah, we're having a blast. Just absolute fun.
Awesome. Now, before we get truly into the AI space, because I really want to focus on that, because I have a couple of questions on that. I want to go back to really how you guys started. So obviously you guys have Twiin Media, which you guys started. But how do two brothers go from straight out of college to this? All the way back when I'm talking about. So I want to hear about how you even first got into media, or what was that spark for that passion?
Yeah. So our first job out of college, we went to Purdue University, and just got the same the same degree. We got hired by the same company out of St. Louis, McDonnell Douglas, working in their graphics department. And then we were there for 2 or 3 years, and we parted ways. I came to Atlanta, we started working for desktop publishing companies because that's what we were taught on is the very first Mac, and so by doing that, we started moving up the ladder pretty quickly because we started working for printing companies. He was working for the Sporting News out of St. Louis. Everybody wanted our knowledge on how to run and basically convert to desktop publishing, and then when I was about ready to hire somebody here in Atlanta, because I went on my own, I talked him into coming and joining and just being partners. And we've been partners ever since. That was in 1996. That really shows our age, but that was years ago that we joined forces. And then since then, we've had to reinvent ourselves like, I don't know, 5 times. We were into desktop publishing, we were in design,
Websites,
then we converted to websites, then we converted to trade show graphics,
kiosks.
So we kept going to where the money was, because sadly, when anybody and everybody starts doing something, then the value drops, and you start to not make as much money or be able to charge as much as you once could at the beginning, and that's always a sign that when we got to reinvent ourselves, So I don't know if does that help answer your
No,
question?
it does, because I'm seeing it, and it's like you guys have been on like almost that front end of like what the customer sees, right? From the desktop to landing pages, like websites and such like that. So you guys have an extensive history of putting things on a screen.
Yeah.
We
take pride in our ability to reinvent ourselves to what's the next hype. And I remember 3 or 4 years ago, we were saying, hey, what's the next thing going to be?
Yeah.
Well, it just kind of dropped in our laps, using AI. We're like, oh my God. And AI is happening quicker than any other avenue that we ever went down. We can't even keep up with it. It's crazy how fast it's improving. And what we started with 2 years ago and where it is now, I just can't even imagine where it's going to be 2 years from now. It's quite amazing.
It really is.
I kind of skipped over something. I skipped over something because I know in 2008, a friend of ours asked us to be on a film, a short film, and it was a competition, and we did that, and I think ever since then we were hooked. As a matter of fact, that was 2007. Yeah. 2008, we did it again with just ourselves, just my brother, myself, and I think we had 2 other people, three other people on board. Anyways, I'm trying to give you an idea of why we transitioned to video, because when we got that bug in making short films and bringing things, because before that, it was so entertainable. Everything is in Hollywood, and how could 2 guys out of Atlanta, Georgia, even remotely think about making a film? Well, anyways, we got the bug, and we just started making all kinds of short films, and then I think about maybe 3 years later, that's when we said, okay, we got to transition our company to video, because how else are we going to be able to afford all this expensive equipment?
That's a good story. Is that's what actually got us to go full into video, is just a way to fund our hobby at the time of making short films. We had so many stories we wanted to tell, and another really crucial element to this story is the first year we did that competition that our friend talked us into. We swore we would never do it again, and then the next year it was like 3 days before, and Dewayne and I call each other up and we're like, let's just do it, And like you said, we had 4 people. Well, we made this movie, and it's a silly movie. This is why I'm bringing it up, because it all has to do with what we're going to talk about later with AI. But we made a silly little movie because we said, well, how can 4 people make a movie? And we said, well,
we had 1 actor.
Yeah, we had 1 actor. And we said, well, let's make it with dolls.
This episode is sponsored by Blackfire Cyber Insurance. The fact is, you not only need cybersecurity to protect yourself from hackings and breaches, but you also need cyber insurance to protect yourself financially from the aftermath of the breach. And if you're interested in protecting your business financially from a cyber attack, go to blackfirecyberinsurance.com today for a free quote.
So I went out and bought
No
$200
way.
of dolls, $200 of stuff at Toys R Us. Maybe it was 300. And we pick our genre because you never know what genre you're going to make in this competition. And we pick our genre out and we get together and we look through this pile of toys. And lo and behold, we had this little Indiana Jones doll that had a mouth that moved. It was like a little action hero. And we're like, oh my God, that's it. So we literally made up the whole story. The next morning, we knew where the story started and where it ended in my brother's house, in this house, the one that we're in right now. And we had lived everything. And we were basically four men playing with these action heroes. And we made this short film. And we won the entire competition with that stupid, silly little movie. And then 10 years later, they had a reunion of all the past 10-year winners of this competition in Atlanta. Because if you win Atlanta, then you move on to, you compete globally with 400 filmmakers around the world. And that year, they had the competition, the big finale here in Atlanta. So they presented the last 10-year winners to these 400 filmmakers. And we were so embarrassed because our little doll movie was before DSLRs and the evolution that you saw in 10 years of winners was staggering, the quality difference. And I remember Dewayne and I leaving that competition or whatever, that viewing, we had somewhere to be. And somebody calls us up and says, why'd you guys leave? We're like, oh, we had to be somewhere. You guys won. All these 400 filmmakers from around the world, they literally voted us as the best film out of all 10 of the past winners. And we were just like, wow, we have got to do something with this concept because people can relate with playing with dolls, action heroes when they were kids. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you probably owned a Superman or something. And so that is literally what Hammer and Dash is about. And that's what AI is doing for us. We were busy spending 7 years. We developed and printed our own vehicles and our own characters and our own heads and faces because we couldn't infringe on anything that already existed. We couldn't infringe on Barbie or
Indiana Jones
or the Barbie Corvette, And so we literally 3D designed everything, and they're all remote control. We got hover drones, we got everything. It's all 3D printed and ready to go. And I literally invented a technology to make our doll's mouth move, and we don't have to do that anymore. AI does it all for us. We do our own voices now. We just convert it to their character voices. We have AI make the mouths move. It's been a game changer, and so it's been a lot of fun. That's for sure. Sorry, you got the long story.
Yeah, you did.
No, I mean, I'm so glad to hear that because, hearing your evolution, right? You're talking about this. I'm shocked. You won with a couple of Barbies and one actor with cameras from all the way back when. You said even before DSLR. I can't even imagine that. I'm a 2009 kid. So to me, I grew up with an iPhone. I grew up hearing those cameras that look nice. I cannot imagine the struggle of a camera back then to now hearing you guys use AI in your work. Now, I did want to actually expand on that. Would you guys say you're AI artists?
Yeah, I would very much say so because our characters are our creation. I would say that would be an artistic arm of what AI gives. What it does for us. We use AI for our graphic. I mean, we still have our business, you know, so we develop logos and everything else that AI can do for us, layouts. So we use AI wherever we can.
Yeah, even in our filmmaking, you know, we're putting characters in New Zealand, you know. You never could have done that before, you know, unless you shot on green screen, and then it would have been questionable.
All right.
But now, God, just the stuff we're doing. Like New York City, we shot this whole scene in a condo in up in Cobb, you know, Marietta area, and it needed to be in New York City, so we literally switched out all the windows to look like you're overlooking, you know, the Empire State Building, and I mean, it's just amazing. You know?
It's incredible.
Yeah, so see, we never could have done this 2 years ago. Could have done it 2 years ago.
We just made a short film that it was a time travel kind of scenario, and this car goes through a bridge, and when the car goes through the bridge, it goes back in time, and so where the car came out of and where we shot it, it did not show the bridge behind it. Well, now we had AI add that bridge to the background of those people after they went through, and that would have been extremely difficult before AI. So it's incredible the abilities that it adds. I can say it takes away some of our work. AI does, because, you know, a lot of people won't need our services as much as they used to, but it gives us, and I hate to say it, we take away jobs. I mean, we don't need voiceovers now. We don't need, you know, the various elements that we can now do it ourselves from our living room. You know, I mean, our offices. You know, it's crazy. So yeah, pretty insane.
Interesting. And you're saying that you know for a fact that this is taking away job. You know for a fact that like this is expanding on another level to the point where you guys are using this, right? I would say you guys are pretty experts in this. You have seen changes in filmmaking from so many decades, and you're saying this is the most notable one because you don't have to pick up a camera. You don't have to necessarily. I mean, I'm sitting at my desk right now. I don't have to pick up a camera. I can do it with the keyboard in front of me, the laptop over here, and my mic right over here. And that is one thing that's really shocking to me is the fact that you guys are using this. And a question that I have for you is this. Of course, you guys have seen mass evolution, and we can go on for hours about that. But you guys, I want to ask, how's the evolution of AI been? Because it's only been 2-3 years since AI video, AI photography, and AI voiceovers came out. And I remember 1 or 2 years ago trying to use it. I just didn't find the quality appealing. I want to know, how was that for you guys? Did you guys struggle to find that good quality to where it's like, because people call it right now AI slop. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah,
sure,
for sure.
People, exactly, right? Some people.
Yeah, we're kind of lucky because, you know, we're not developing products that, you know, compete with high-end, high quality, high concept, you know, movies. We have a funny little concept. It's like Family Guy humor, and it's extremely forgiving because, you know, nothing has to be perfect in our development of it because that's kind of the charm. If you ever see, and if we could give you some samples, you can show your viewers. The charm of it is it's cheesier than you ever could imagine. I mean, you literally see hands come in, turning the doll heads, and actually operating the hands at given moments. And then it goes into the imaginary world of the people that are actually playing with them, you know. And the overall concept, I'm going to give it away, but you're basically watching two grown men living vicariously through these little dolls, and then pretty much they're procrastinating doing their household chores by turning them into epic adventures, and they destroy their home, you know, during, you know, each adventure. It's something new, and each episode, it's a different thing that they're trying to avoid doing, and they keep getting pulled into this playtime, if you will. Anyway, my point is, it has to do with their imagination. So it's extremely forgiving, and that's what I love about our concept, because it can grow with AI. Even if AI is not perfect, it really doesn't matter at this point for what the product we're developing. So yes, we have lived through what you're talking about, the slop and the results of prompts that you're just maddening. Like, why did AI give me this? You know, and it could be, you know, we're definitely living through the growth period. But what we have seen grow in the last 2 years is staggering. So I can only imagine how much perfection there'll be in 2 years from now. I can envision where we'll go to let's say that we're hired to film an interview of some kind, where we would take two cameras and get it from two different angles for our, you know, our second shot for backup and, you know, for cut shots. Now we could probably film just one camera, and then in AI, when things will probably improve in a year, we'll just tell AI, hey, give me another view from the right angle. Here's a picture of the interview, you know, the interviewee, and AI will do it for us. We don't even need that second camera. So that's where I think it's going, is you're going to need less equipment on site, because AI can be that filler, or that kind of that if you have problems with something, you can have AI fill it in, whatever it might be.
Interesting. Like talking, wow, it can remove cameras. I didn't even think of that perspective. That's interesting.
Totally. Man, I'm telling you, it's out right now. I mean, it's in its infancy. They're all doing it. Adobe's got a version of it. I forget what the other companies are. They all have this technology is out there, and it's free for people to try. But you can literally just on the fly, just change your view of wherever you're at in that room, and it will make up whatever's on the left side, you know, the background. It's so powerful. It's crazy.
Interesting. My question though is this: how did you guys first implement AI? When you guys figured out, you were like, wow, this tool, what was the first thing that you guys were like, all right, we can do this? Like the first time you saw AI in work?
Yeah, I had to do extensive research, and I found a way to make the mouths move. That's what was important to us. And once I figured that out, and the tools to use, it's kind of its own app called Face Fusion, and it was so powerful, and just the ability to swap the faces out. And then we use Runway, which is Runway AI. That's a kind of an aggregator now, because you can now use all kinds of models within Runway. But Runway was able to, you know, use our expressions, and we still do this. You know, we do our own acting, we do our own expressions, but then it applies those expressions to the doll heads. And so that was the first thing that really pulled us in. But now I'm working on today alone. I'm working on a fight scene where I just grabbed arbitrarily a fight scene from a movie that exists. I'm just doing testing right now. And then I tell it, hey, I want these two characters replaced with Hammer and this villain. And I upload a picture of each, and it literally replaces those characters in the fights. And I give it a picture of my kitchen sink, or my kitchen, you know, where the fight takes place. And it does it for me. I mean, it matches the punches, and it's so powerful. I can't even tell you.
Interesting. It's so powerful, and it's like, and I'm guessing it's like been one of the most helpful things that you guys have came across in filmmaking. But I have to ask, in contradiction to that, what was like the number one challenge when you found out about AI or started using it? Was there anything that you were like, yikes, like this is not that good? Or was there any challenges in between when using AI?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know there's just sometimes you would ask it, you know, do the prompts, and then all of a sudden it would throw a third character in you didn't even ask for, you know, just weird things. You know, now those days are getting fewer and fewer, you know, that those are happening. But when we first got into it, it was you just couldn't, man, it was just, and all of a sudden you get it, they did it right, and you're just like, yeah, because it was just like you felt like you went through like 30 tries to get it to understand what you're wanting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that would probably be
that was our biggest hurdle, is getting past that. That's why we joined Runway AI, because
LM. Runway LM.
LM, you call it LM, I call it.
Language.
So, but it's the reason we did that is because they had an unlimited plan, and that allowed us to just try over and over and experiment. And it was a great way to learn AI, because, man, if you're paying for credits and you're experimenting and they fail over and over again and you're getting charged, it's painful to sit through. So unfortunately, Runway is taking away their unlimited plan this month, and that is a real bummer, because I think the unlimited plan is so important for people that are just getting into it and just learning how, because there's such an experimental phase that you go through, learning what works and what doesn't. And if you got to pay for every mistake, that is not fun. I don't envy people that are just now getting into it. I think there's one other model that does have an unlimited plan.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw it just this weekend. I was going to look into it, but we're heavily embedded into Runway. I mean, we used about 3 or 4 of their tools daily, and I don't know how we could literally move to another platform. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, we did talk about the future of AI in film, right? We talked about how you guys said that example, right? All you need when you're recording a podcast, like an in-person interview, would just be one camera, and AI can generate that second perspective at the second person, right? Now, my question is this: do you guys see AI generation and AI filmmaking in theaters in the next 5 to 10 years? And if so, do you think people are going to react good to that? Because even right now, with how good AI content generation has become, I've seen it on Instagram, and I've been tricked before. And like, those fake car crash videos, like I've been tricked before. That's like, wow, that's real. So do you guys think that AI will be able to make it to the theaters in 5 to 10 years? But also, do you think people will react good to it? And do you think people will adapt to the change? Everybody knows that they need AI in their business, but no one knows how to implement AI nor where to implement AI. And that is where WizAgents comes in. We provide consulting and bespoke AI architecture for your business. Just email hello@wizagents.ai and visit our website wizagents.ai for more information.
I think, and what I've heard is that Hollywood's already been using AI in the last 2 or 3 years. They just haven't, you just don't know some of these visual effects. You just would figure that we're big, VFX houses. But, from what I've gathered is that they've already been using some of these, techniques of explosions and stuff like that already. And I know was it Netflix? There was a Asian film that came out about, 9 months ago that they boasted they said was their first AI, fully AI visual effects, so you're asking next 5 or 10 years. I mean, I think we're going to start seeing it show up, this year.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's all being used under the radar for different things, because why not? I mean, why would you not use it? But yeah, is it going to be, I think that's why they're scrambling to put a lot of these things in place where you can't use people's likeness without them knowing, and yeah, that's for sure. There should definitely be some things put in place for the actors. But will there be some characters 100% AI? I think so. I think it's coming for sure.
Yeah, it's not good for actors. It's not good for the writers. I feel bad for them, but because there's just a lot of for about a year, I did not mention to anybody in our field that we're using AI, because, man, it's looked down upon in the industry. I mean, not the people that are on top, because they look at the savings of it all. And I also want to tell you, there's a misconception. You think that AI is going to cut your time in half. Now, I would say, yeah, with special effects, if you don't have to pay a visual effects house to develop these things, there's got to be some major savings right there. But in our world, in our independent film world, it's actually opening up the doors to us to be able to compete with high concepts. Where in the past I could have never created an action movie that included car chase scenes and fight scenes and whatever else. But now, because of AI, it is opening up those doors to independent filmmakers that can now do that. But it's a little off subject, but what you were asking, but yes, I do think we're going to start seeing it in the theaters. I think within the year, because it's been kind of under the radar, because I don't think studios want their people to know that these jobs are being taken away and they're changing. I don't think they're publicizing it at all. Even if they are using it, I don't think they're gonna tell us. And I would imagine they got better tools than we have. Because surely they're ahead of us. But hey, who knows?
Exactly. Now, one thing that I do have about this, one question. Do you think that AI removes or instills and nurtures creativity when it comes to filmmaking and designing?
I think it nurtures, and I think it exceeds. I mean, it extends our creativity. I know it has with us.
Yeah.
As creators, we like control. I'll be the first to admit I like being able to control and not try and feed what I'm visualizing to other people. If I can control it myself and do the acting and the accentuation of where I want the emphasis to be, I like being able to do that. I'm not an actor by any means, but I can simulate it, and then I can have my character. And again, we're kind of lucky because we have a concept that is forgiving. And so, do we need to show the eye, a person's eyes and the way they're gleaming? We're kind of lucky that we don't have to worry about details like that, because we're dealing with toys, right? And but it has surely extended our creativity. What's your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. I would say, it makes us think about, when we're coming up with concepts. 5 years ago, we would say, well, no, that's unattainable. We've never done that. There's no way we could do that. But now you just it's almost like, well, okay, how do we go about doing this? Because, it's almost like anything's possible.
It is true.
And so, yeah, I totally think it extends the creativity for sure.
Yeah. Now, I in the negative side of it, I think it in a way it does. I think it does stagnate your own creativity, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Where we start relying on AI to come up with a solution and not using our own brain to come up with it, I think that sucks. But you just can't hold back. You gotta take advantage of AI. Otherwise, you just won't advance like everybody else will be around you. It's just the way it is.
That's a good point, because we used to have to do. We used to do visual effects all day long in Adobe After Effects, and we still have to bring it out every now and then. But for the most part, it's like you don't have to think about how intricately you have to go about doing something. When you just literally within seconds.
I have another great example. I had to invent vehicles, from scratch, and we'll definitely send you images or video of these hover drones and different remote control cars that we have. And I had to come up with those from scratch, from my brain, and had to put it together. But if I were given that same task now, I probably would go to AI and say, hey, give me 4 concepts of a kid's toy that could be used as a mixture of a tank and a big wheel. And it would do it for me, right? And I would not use my own brain to make it happen. And that's where I'm saying I think the downside is we're gonna put too much into the hands of AI and not let ourselves come up with the ideas.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, look, we are running out of time, so real quickly, let's hit the rapid fire section. All right.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Claude or ChatGPT?
I'm a big fan of Claude right now,
Yeah,
but
Claude.
unfortunately I'm embedded with chat because I started with it, so it's got all my past history and conversations. I wish there was a way you could say, okay, extract everything from chat and move it over to Claude.
Yeah.
You can.
So now I'm stuck using both. And then you got to remember which platform you use for what. It's
True.
very frustrating.
Yeah.
But I use Grok too. I don't use Grok.
You use Grok? How's Grok? Because I've never used it.
I like it, except it doesn't have its own app that resides on my Mac, so I hate
It's in
that.
Twitter, right?
I got a browser,
Yeah.
and I'm using Grok less and less, but I'm leaning towards Claude right now. What about you?
Yeah, Claude for sure. Yeah, especially for writing and I don't know. I think it's better.
Fair enough. Do you guys like to work from an office, or do you like to just work from anywhere in the world?
Oh,
That's so funny.
We used to have a studio for years,
Yeah.
and until COVID came up. Yeah, and so we had to close our studio down, and then we started working out of our homes again. We hadn't worked out of our homes since the '90s, and I gotta say, I don't know if I can ever have to go back to a studio again. I
do it.
I do have to be. I don't have to. Now that I have one of these, I got one of those Apple Vision Pros, the goggles,
Oh yeah.
So now that I have that, I can literally be anywhere and have a screen bigger than the one I have at home because I use it as a second monitor, and I can just bring my laptop. But yeah, because this kind of stuff we do, we need big monitors, a lot of real estate space on mine. So laptops are really hard to work on. But with the Vision Pro, now I can go outside and work. I can travel. I can be on a plane and have the biggest monitor I've ever owned.
That's true. I don't have that luxury because I don't have one of those. But I would say that aspects of what we do, the writing and putting together storyboards. We could be. I know we have intentions to go to Thailand for 2 weeks and do a lot of the storyboarding and story and writing, because you can do that anywhere, especially with AI. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, you're right. You're asking out of the office or anywhere in the world. I'd rather be anywhere in the world because I just love to travel.
Nice.
But it's nice not having to go to a studio where we used to have, green screen walls and and all the, all of our heavy equipment. Don't need half of that anymore. It's not even a quarter. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you guys like to wake up to an alarm or just anytime you wake up?
I do anytime.
Anytime.
I'm a late night owl, and I usually go to bed at I fall asleep to a movie at 2 a.m. But I'm always up naturally by 7 or 8. So it's
especially doing some of this AI stuff. You're waking up in the middle of the night to send another version to process because the unlimited plan, it's not instantaneous, so you gotta be in a queue. So sometimes you're setting up an alarm just to wake up and send something to a queue just so that by morning you'll have something. But definitely on my own.
Both of y'all anytime. Do you guys like to take, when you guys have a project or a task, do you like to just grind it out until it's done, or do you like to take it in chunks and take breaks in between?
I think I like just cranking it out. I get obsessed because I love what we do, especially now if I'm talking about Hammer and Dash, actually anything I do. I just get so, if it's creative, I cannot stop until it's done. I gotta see the finished product. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. What are you like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I like projects with crazy deadlines, because otherwise we will milk something till.
Yeah, we'll keep tweaking it. We cannot stop until it is perfect.
Yeah.
So you're right. Deadlines are nice to have.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you guys drink coffee or do you guys drink energy drinks?
Coffee.
I don't
Coffee?
drink either. I don't drink either.
Yeah, he doesn't either.
Either?
That's why I'm 3 times as more proficient than he is.
Yeah. I cannot go throughout the day without coffee. Like, it's crazy. I need like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I love coffee, but yeah, no, I don't partake.
Interesting. Now,
Not since the incident.
Yeah.
What's the incident? Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I say that when I go out, I don't drink either, and I always tell people now I don't drink, not since the incident. You know,
Not since the incident.
Just let their minds wander. Like
What happened with the coffee?
Yeah.
Now, the last and most final important question of them all.
Oh man.
I'm gonna take my glasses off for this one. Cereal before the milk or milk before the cereal? There is a right or wrong answer.
Oh. I got cereal before the milk.
Okay, and I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat breakfast.
That's the real correct answer. You don't eat breakfast.
But my son does, and I always pour his cereal first, and then I discover I don't have milk. Then he's got to eat it dry.
That's hilarious. Well, seriously, Dewayne and Lawayne, it was awesome having you guys on today. I think we learned a lot about AI, and especially in the filmmaking industry. This is a new perspective that I haven't had yet. So again, thank you guys so much for hopping on. We'll throw all your links down there and all the media. We'll try to get it there in the description or in the video. Everyone, go follow these guys on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever they have. Go check out their website. And again, thank you guys for being on today.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us on.
We enjoyed it. Thank you.